You've heard me say it time and time again. Overwatch is not a team-based game, regardless of what it portrays itself to be. This time I want to dig deeper into why I believe that, and more so what can be done to change it. This is the identity crisis of Overwatch. So why is Overwatch not a team game? Easy. It's the idea of the carry. It's the fact that one person can change the flow of the game so much so that it won't matter if your team is playing well or not. As long as you can stay alive long enough to push the cart, you'll win, all while a single person carries you to victory. The reason why this idea is so prominent and why it's even possible in the first place is because of a wide variety of reasons, one of which is what the entire game is centered around. Now I want you to ask yourself one question. What is the objective of a game of Overwatch? Just think about it for a moment. Most of you might say it depends on the map. Sometimes you gotta push a payload. Other times you gotta capture a point. But you'd be dead wrong on both accounts. The objective of every single game of Overwatch, regardless of the map, is to win the team fight. The team fight is what the entire game is centered around. Not payloads, not capture points, no. The entire game and every single mechanic within it is geared towards and was created solely for the team fight. And why not? That is the most fun part of the game, right? The problem is that when everything in the game is geared towards the team fight, the game basically boils down to a more complex version of team deathmatch. Kind of like Call of Duty, actually. And I know, I'll get a whole lot of shit for that comparison in the comments, but just think about it. Hear me out. The objective is really just an afterthought. It's just something to facilitate the team fight and just give players something to fight over. Obviously, this isn't a new take. It's just basic game design, really. But I think this kind of game design doesn't incentivize the type of gameplay I would want to see in a team-based game. A team-based game, in my opinion, should be centered around the objective, not the team fight. The game design should bring players closer together and incentivize cooperation, not be solely based around getting picks. When a game is based solely around killing other players, there's a certain depth to the game that is lost, because it doesn't matter how the other team dies, they just need to die. This kind of design doesn't give a shit whether you got 3 picks on your own or if you had help from your team. It just matters that you got them in the first place and you've now won the team fight. Obviously, with the unpredictability of your teammates, every game boils down to you getting those picks for your team, regardless of your role. Because it's not about how much healing you do or how much space you create for your team. It's about the other team dying. That's it. Which leads me to the next issue with Overwatch's team-based facade, the redundancy of roles, support in particular. Now, we all know supports are supposed to heal their team, right? But should they really, though? I would argue that healing should be the very last thing you should think about as a support player. Your first and only priority should be doing damage and securing picks for your team. I mean, if your teammates are about to die, sure, heal them. But only because without them alive, you will lose the ability to outdamage the enemy team because now you're a man down. Just look at how people who win play support. Mora is used to secure picks on low health targets. Kiri is a straight up ambush assassin using your TP to leave off angles in an instant, like fucking Genji Light. Alari is just a straight up DPS. Lucio, isolate vulnerable targets, get in and get out gameplay. Zen, another straight up fucking DPS. I mean, the list goes on. The point I'm trying to make is that if you sit back and just heal bot, you will almost always lose because Overwatch isn't designed for you to do that. I mean, hell, even the mechanics of most of the healers are DPS based, like Kiri's no drop off headshot range or literally everything about Alari's kit. It's like the developers made DPS characters and decided to give them healing abilities as an afterthought. So why even have healing abilities in the first place? Why not just give everyone a healing passive when they're out of combat and call it a day? Oh wait, that's already in the game. And I know why they're designing these heroes in this way. It's a problem that has plagued Overwatch since the day it hit beta. DPS is just more fun to play. So what do? They make every hero a fucking DPS. They downplay the defining factors of every role in favor of the fun factor of killing enemy players. So how do we change this? How do we make Overwatch the team-based game that it poses itself to be? Well, the short answer is that we can't. Blizzard has gone way too far down the rabbit hole to ever come back up. But I'll indulge you all anyway. The very first thing I would do is bring back the 6v6. It was better that way in the first place. And in my opinion, it's always better to add onto something rather than take away from it. Plus, the extra tank would add another layer of complexity to the game. Next, I would simply change the objective, figuratively and literally. Instead of 2CP and payload maps, I'd add a mode where teamwork and cooperation is heavily incentivized. Maybe we do something other than standing around a payload or a point. Maybe add some interactiveness to the objectives. Look, I'm not a fucking game designer, obviously. All I know is that if we change the game from being so heavily focused on the team fight and more focused on the objective, or rather completing objectives, the game would naturally be more team oriented. Look, the fact of the matter is that Overwatch has never truly known what it was. I mean, we used to have attackers and defenders, for God's sakes. Character after character has had rework after rework, and the very foundation of the game has been changed time and time again. This shit is like Kanye fixing the life of Pablo after it's already been released. It's like J. Cole taking the Kendrick diss track off his album. I mean, when will this editing stop? But hey, I think that's another video. But hey, these are just my thoughts, as always. And I truly appreciate you guys for watching, liking, and commenting. And again, let me know if I'm an idiot. And down in the comment section, please tell me what you would do to make the game better or defend the game. Tell me how the game is perfect the way it is. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.